Okay, so we're going to be doing stuff from the Kuntress, and I just want to walk you through the Kuntress to show you which shiurim there are on Pesach. Now, remember, this is the 2011 edition. I'm sure there have been more added. So the first one in the packet there is Shabbos HaGadol, and the reason why it's in brackets is because the title of the Kuntress is Sevaros b'Mishnah Torah Rambam, and this one shiur is on the tour. The Ram does not mention anything about Shabbos HaGadol. So it's a good shiur, though. I mean, I'm sure they're all good shiurim, but I'm giving you my personal weighing in on these shiurim. So Shabbos HaGadol is a very good shiur. I suggest you do it on Shabbos HaGadol. Okay.
That's the Shabbos before Pesach?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which this year is Erev Pesach.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had a dream a couple nights ago that you were insisting that Shabbos HaGadol was called Shabbos Shuva. And I would say, no, that's another one. Yeah.
It's the second time this week that you've been arguing with Isaac.
Oh, yeah? That's funny. You're right. Yeah.
No, it's the third.
Okay. Then on page 61 is Matako Shiva, which I think I've only done once, and I don't remember much about that one. So
like the gra, like.
No, I think it's about the mitzvah of. Oh, I mean maybe, but it's going to be about the Rambam. So I think it's just about the mitzvah of Mata.
Okay.
Yeah. Then on, let's see that go. Okay, next one is on 63. Yeah, he even has a sort of shlishis, right, to get it in once at the end on the Akon. What was it?
Well, this is just, but
yeah, but the Gra does hold that it's a kiyum. Yeah. Okay, so then on 63, also Isa min hachitim min haoras. I don't remember. I mean, that's about that case in Hilchos Matzah Perek Vav, which is remember the thing with the Tom Dagon. Yeah, so I don't remember what that shiur is like. Isra Achilas, the same page, is Isra Achilas Matzah Erev Pesach is on what it sounds like. I actually don't remember that shiur, so I don't really know.
Yeah.
Okay, then on page 65, Geula Lanu V'Lavosenu. I think that's my favorite one of them. That is more of a philosophical shiur on. I mean, it's based on the halachos also, but it's on the significance of the Geula.
Cool.
And on that phrase, Geula Lanu V'Lavosenu. Okay, then on 67 is the one I wanted to do, Birkat Al Achilas Matzah. So I hope we will probably get to do that. Then on 68 is a fun one. That's hagadah v'achav. That's on why there needs to be a mnemonic. Because it's 10 things. Like you really need a mnemonic for that, and they're in the psukim,
song.
Yeah. So that's a fun one. I'd like to do that one maybe also.
Also, you explicitly list them.
What was that?
You also explicitly list them.
Yeah, right. Yeah. 69 is Seder Leil Pesach Biom Tov Shein Shal Galios, which is the one that I wanted to do today. So we'll do that today. And I think that's the last one in this edition of the Kuntress. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's not on Pesach.
Oh.
That's on Rosh Hashanah. Yeah. Okay. No. I mean, it's on the concept, but it's rooted in. I think. Hold on.
Yeah.
It could be. I mean, this is on mitzvos v'din shomeach ta'oneh. So I'm assuming it's on shofar, and he starts off with Gemara Rosh Hashanah, and he talked about Hilchos Shofar. So I'm assuming it's a shofar shiur.
Yeah.
You can do the shiur and then challenge me if I'm wrong. Okay, so let's start off on page 69. Seder Leil Pesach Biom Tov Shein Shal Galios. And I think what we should do is do what we did last time. Any Rambam he quotes, we'll look up. And then for the Gemaras that he quotes, we'll decide whether we want to look it up or not. Because sometimes when he quotes the Gemara, it goes into the whole thing. And sometimes he's just referencing a particular fact. Okay, so let's you can claim your Rambam there. Okay, so iyun the Nusach hagadah Rambam Besefa. Because so let's do that. So the Nusach hagadah, which is at the end of Hilchos coming to Matzah, at the very end. This is the last thing we did yesterday. Mem Aleph. Oath Mem Aleph there. Don't know what page it is in yours. Yeah. Okay, which says, Keseder shemavarchin v'korin ha'hagadah b'leil yom tov rishon shel Pesach, kach mevarchin v'korin b'leil shein shel Galios. So in the order, like the order that we bless and read the hagadah on the night of the first yom tov of Pesach, so too we bless and read on the second night of Galios. V'chein chayavim b'leil hasheni ba'arba kosos. So too, you're obligated on the second night in the 4 cups. Uvishar hadvarim shenatzu b'layl harishon, and then the other things that you do on the first night. Okay. Hold on a second. Here we just started that shiur, and we're looking the wrong side. Okay, yeah. So Kuntress says, and again, I am Nusach hagadah l'Rambam Bekius the Seder shemarachim b'korim b'leil. Okay, we just read that. B'chol ze ba'lama'id es hava amina the b'leil yom tov sheni lo yihu chayavim b'kriyas hagadah klal. Right. So that's the hava amina. All of this is coming to refute or to exclude the hava amina that we don't read the hagadah at all on the second night.
Right.
V'gam es hava amina. We're on the top left column in the Kuntress there now. V'gam es hava amina afilu tema dechin chayavim b'kriyas hagadah mikol makom lo yihu chayavim b'shar mitzvos halayla kagon dalat kosos v'chulei. So double hava amina, right? And that seems putrid from the way he says it. The fact that he has to tell you to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's double hava amina.
Wow. That's good.
Weird. Yeah. And I guess the Baal Kuntress is saying it is interesting that he relegates. He doesn't seem to say the significance in singling out the arba kosos, right? He just says,
I thought that was double hava.
no. The double hava amina is kriyas hagadah. You might think you don't have to do kriyas hagadah, and then even if you do that, you might think that you don't have to do the mitzvos.
Oh, you would have to do hagadah, but not the mitzvos.
Hagadah, but not the mitzvos.
Wow. I would have thought the opposite. That's great.
Yeah, right. Yeah, crazy, right? So he's gonna now prove that you don't have that he doesn't have amina. Okay, check out the next thing. Al hava amina harishona yesh lahakshas. Okay, so you can ask on the first hava amina. Ma'ishna Pesach mishar yamim tovim. What would the difference be between Pesach and other yom tovim? It's obvious that on all of them you do on the second day what you do on the first day. Okay, so let's look at that. I gotta get mine now. Hold on. Hey. Did I say hey dollar through hey?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yes. So does yours start off with Kisha Haisa?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Kisha Haisa Sanhedrin Kayemis, when the Sanhedrin was extant, Vahin Kobi al Hariya, and they would establish the Rosh Chodesh based on the sighting of the new moon. Hayubnei Eretz Yisrael v'chol makomot shemagin elein shluchei Tishrei otin yamim tovim yom echad bilvad. So then the Israel dwellers and all of the places that these messengers of Tishrei would reach, they would do one day of Yom Tov alone. Ushar hamakomot harachokos she'ein shluchei Tishrei magin elein hayosin shnei yamim misafek. So then everyone else who they couldn't reach would do 2 yamim tovim out of safek. Because they didn't know which day they made the Rosh Chodesh. So this is a basic, 2 days of Yom Tov, right? Okay. Nowadays, when there's no Sanhedrin and the Beis Din of Eretz Yisrael establishes this calculation, so now there's no suffix, right? We should all do 1 day of Yom Tov, right? Because we're not dependent on messengers. So why don't we just do 1 day? Even the people who are far off in Chutz La'aretz to do it. They should do like Bnei Eretz Yisrael. So really, by all rights, we should only do 1 day of Yom Tov, but the Chachamim was to keep the minhag. So we have the minhag of 2 days. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So that's that. And then back to the Baal Kuntress. Also, what is he bringing that in for? Because he's saying that it's pashut that we do 2 days of Yom Tov, which means do everything the same. Okay. But now here's what What?
254.
What was that?
For Sukkah.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading now.
Oh yeah.
Zeh Ayin Hilchos Sukkah Vav Zayin. So look at Hilchos Sukkah Vav Zayin. Okay, which we'll do now.
Love is
So just start with achila.
Oh, yeah.
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 All right. Achila belela yom tov rishon v'sukkah chova. So eating on the first night of sukkah is an obligation. Achila achal kazayis pas yate de chavata. Even if you only ate kazayis of bread, then you're yote. Mikandelach, from then on, rishus is optional. Rata lachol suuda soid v'sukkah. If you want to eat a meal, you do the meal in the sukkah. Rata eno ochel koshev elaperos oklayas chutz l'sukkah. Or if you want, you could eat fruits and nuts outside of the sukkah. Not nuts, roasted grain, right? That's plants, yeah. Ochel kedin achilas matzah Pesach. So you eat like you do on Pesach. So what do you see from there? He says, Baal Kuntress, Delo Katsav Sham Haramam Din Yuchad Lelel Sheni. He doesn't write a second special din for Yom Sheni. She'ein Shum Havamina Lamayosa. There's no Havamina to not do it.
well, you said
That doesn't hook it at a minute, but this happens.
well, no.
That's right.
Well, isn't he just saying he did like just like you do on Pesach and Pesach he did right?
No. That's not what he's saying. Pesach. No, he's talking about eating matzah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right. I'm saying if the did is the same, then it would be you would keep 2 days. It's the same in all respects.
No, he's not talking about all respects, I don't think, right? Because he's saying
He's
he's talking about that, just like it's only a chova to eat matzah on night 1, but the other 7 days is a rishus.
Yeah.
So it's only a chova to eat on the first night of Sukkot.
in the
In the sukkah.
On Pesach we eat 2 days. If we have Yom Tov and we eat 2 days, if we eat matzah on the second day also on Pesach, and it's the same on Sukkot, then we would be active on the second day also.
Yeah, that's not what he's saying. Yeah, yeah, and I don't think anyone holds that.
I like to miss that.
That's love.
Yeah. I can just be misunderstanding what he's saying.
Yeah, right. His point is just simple. Like, I mean, we read this in Hilchos in the 6th parak, right? He said it's only a chova to eat matzah on the first night of Pesach, and all the nights is rishus.
Yeah.
And the same structure applies to eating in the sukkah. You only have a chiyuv to eat a size of bread in the sukkah on the first night, but then from then on is Yeah. Yeah, and the Baal Kuntress' point is that he's saying the Rambam doesn't say v'chein you also have to eat on the second night of sukkah, in Galus.
Okay, is that true though?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we don't hold that you do. Yeah.
You don't hold that you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
We hold that yeah. I mean that is a weird thing. On the second night, yeah, we don't hold you have to eat in the sukkah on the second night.
In what part?
In Shabbat, yeah. Yeah, we definitely don't hold that. Yeah.
I didn't know what that math know like if it's raining and like it's away.
No, never heard that, and it's only on the first night. If you find out, I'd be surprised.
There's no you're not going back because it's
On the second
No,
night,
you're
no.
supposed to eat. You're just
Then you have to eat.
to have a student.
Meaning, if it's raining, you could eat inside.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm having about the thing you just like in control
No, in Yom Tov Feni in Chutz La'aretz,
You don't eat on the second night.
you're not allowed to eat in the sukkah on the second night.
I'm
That's a good question. That's a good question. Yeah, I think.
I've never heard of half of the point.
Yeah, I mean,
It sounds familiar to me, but like,
have you ever? Does anyone have a single memory
No.
of waiting on the second night to like go out into the sukkah? No.
I think
no, I have. I didn't catch that. Say
If
again.
it's not raining, the instant don't want to
If it's not.
Yeah, of course, everyone holds that.
Yeah,
But you don't, if I didn't eat bread,
Yeah.
then there's nothing wrong with me. I mean, well, I'm not being
No,
kind of Suda,
I
but
think you are fine to do it. But you have to wait to get in the sucker to drink.
But you're fine to eat a Suda, obviously. But and
You
Suda.
don't want
Fine
to.
from the din,
Fine to eat a Suda. We be Yom Tov.
yeah, from Yom Tov, not me din sukkah though.
Yeah.
And not me din gezer shavat tetvav. Yeah. You know how else I know this? Because I'm from Seattle, and on Seattle, it's raining all the time, and we know this. we know this.
On the first night, the high, if it went the whole night.
Yes, that's because it's only on the first night. Yeah, but we don't do that for the second night. It's a good
Only
question.
that it's not like.
I'm not challenging the question. I'm challenging the mitzvos of the Pesach. Yeah. Let's go on. Let's go back to Pesach. Yeah.
The question's on Sukkot, not on Pesach. Because if they would do the same thing on both nights, then it should be the same thing on both nights.
Yes, it is a question on Sukkah, and it's
Yeah.
good. Okay, onward.
Oh, I just confirmed. That's the question on Sukkot, not on Pesach.
Yes, but that's not the question he's asking, right?
Yes.
He's not asking a question, right? You
You
can do the Sukkah later. Okay, yeah. I bet it's dealt with in the Rishimos.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but the point he's making is he's saying that the Ram does not mention a similar thing on the second night. Okay. Oh, sorry, on Sukkot. The after amnam katav din yom tov sheni b'hilchos shofar beis yud. Okay, so on beis yud in shofar, same section, should be close. He says, "B'zman hazeh she'anu otin shnei yamim b'galios, k'derech shetokim b'rishon tokim b'sheni." So there he does say, just like we blow the shofar on the first day of Rosh Hashanah, we also do it in the second. V'im chal yom rishon lios b'shabbat lo ha b'makom beitin haru'in l'tkoa tokim b'sheni bilvad. Okay, fine. And if the first day falls on Shabbos and you don't have a beis din that is roy to be tokea, then you only do it on the second day. So what's the reason you have to mention it there? He says, "Hainu mishum ha'havmina haba me'inyan yoma arichta she'ena kayachat el baruch dan chud." That you have a separate consideration on Yom Tov, on Rosh Hashanah, we have a concept of yoma arichta, which is its own complications because it's on the first day of the month. And he's saying that the havmina comes from there. But in general, he's saying that that you don't need to repeat. Ram doesn't specify that you do it on the second time. Okay.
What? I think it really is like the only time we can't say it because it's my uncle would have to say it.
You would have to say it
If he said it
by
every time,
lulav. He'd have to say it by lulav shofar sukkah, and
I say the only time he doesn't mention it often is like so it sounds like you do it like you don't touch on why he doesn't mention it and not
Well,
like,
no, this is the anomaly, right? You have to say it on lulav also,
Lula,
right?
and he does.
And he doesn't.
I'm viewing it as holiday.
What was that?
I'm viewing it as like the young people, like all the circuits.
Wait, aren't we already
That's
having
Lula.
Lula?
Durabanan, yeah, right.
Well, isn't this?
It's been set as a
It is durabanan, correct?
I think it's been too.
Yeah, you mean maybe you wouldn't have to say it because you're already doing it for another, and because we're doing durabanan but for a completely different reason.
Yeah,
We're doing it because of the mikdash.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think it has enough.
I don't think it has enough meanings either. Well, it would have not. I mean, would we be machmir according to? I don't know.
No, I don't think it'd be nothing that has to be yours.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think we would though, because we typically don't have kulas on the second day because of durabanan. No, you don't. That's not a kula.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not. It didn't cut off this valve. Yeah.
There's no clear.
There's no fee event. There's no fee at all. That's different than a kula.
I don't believe in that.
Okay, fine. Right. Okay, you're one of those vaccine deniers, you know. Yeah. No, but what I'm saying though is that we dafka say that we don't do kulas on the second day because it's a bizoy to the Yom Tov derata, right? We don't say you could do the meko here of matzah, and like if you have the suffix on a derbanan and it's a fixed, we say everything's
I
exactly.
understand that. I on second day it's supposed to be much better or make
I think we only do it by certain isurim malacha, but I don't think we
Yeah.
do. Yeah, we don't do it by mitzvos though, right? Like we don't. You don't need to do mea kolos with shofar. You just do like
Yeah.
yeah.
You just hold it 1, 2 times and just do.
Yeah. Okay. The havmina hashniya on the second havmina yesh lahakshos hef yikru as a hagadah below asiyat hamitzvot hashayachos la. So according to the second havmina, how could you read the hagadah without doing the mitzvos that are shayach to it? Shahari ika kium shel sidur asiyas mitzvos halayla ki ikud hakolo dalat kosos v'hagadah umatza umar ukidamashma mihil perak ches shel hilvos mata. I don't think that question is quite as strong, but he's asking, what would it mean to do the hagadah without all the mitzvos? Because the whole thing is one Seder Masim Elu, you know?
Mhm.
I mean, I could say that hagadah is one mitzvah, and the other ones are another one, you know?
But we did keep in our own, right? It's like there's like a Seder.
There is a Seder, right?
Yeah,
right.
and they seem to be like incorporated.
Yeah, and it would make sense to say Pesach zesh anu ochlim hashuma when you're not eating a Pesach and you know.
Or like halacha anya, and there's no.
Yeah, exactly.
Machem, you know.
Yeah. Or you know, b'shachis matzah or more munachim lefanacha for the chayuv anyway, you know. Yeah. All right. So here comes his svara, I think. V'yesh lomar debashar yamim tovim hamitzvos shofar sukkah v'lulav novaot mikedushas hayom shel hayom tov v'lo mitari hayom. Okay, so with those mitzvos, the Yom Tovim, the mitzvos flow from the kedushas hayom, not from the calendar date. Okay, ulakach, and for this reason, pshita she'osin b'sheni k'moshe asu b'rishon. For that reason, it's obvious that you do on the second day what you did on the first day. Shari nohagin kedusha b'sheni, because we're nohag to have kedusha on the second day.
I see.
You see where he's going? Ulam b'Pesach, however, for Pesach, mitzvah sipur yitzias mitzrayim novas davka mita'arich hayom. The mitzvah of sipur yitzias mitzrayim flows specifically from the calendar date. Sheyom ha'ma'ora hu ha'machayev es ha'sipur. The day of the event is what is machayev the sipur. Okay. Kidichsiv yigadol b'cha bayom hahu lemor. Ukedushat hayom tov novat min ha'sipur, and the kedushat hayom comes from the sipur. Ukeinha the pirashon of inyan zachor b'sipur yitzias mitzrayim v'kidush hayom. That year is not in this Kuntress. So I've never done that here before, but apparently talks about it there. Okay, so let's just stop and pause, right? Yeah, okay, right. So ordinarily the structure is Beis Din sets up the Kedushas Hayom, or they set up the calendar, right, which has the dates. And Kedushas Hayom is on certain days, and then the Yom Tov Sheni replicates the Kedusha for the second day.
Mhm.
So and the mitzvahs come from the Kedushas Hayom. So anything that you do from the first comes from the second. But he's saying here it's almost flipped on its head. Is that the Chiyuv of Sipur is the calendar date, which really is like, I mean, it makes sense in the sense that it's like an anniversary commemoration, you know, like you commemorate on the day that it happened, you know, so that's one move, and the second move he's saying, which apparently he argues for in another shiur, which we don't have, the Kedushas Hayom flows from the Sipur. Weird, right? Yeah. So let's finish the paragraph and then we'll yeah.
So let's say somehow the Kedusha Hayom was divorced from the Sipur.
Yeah.
And like that was a week later. You'd still have a Sipur on the 15th because that's an empty.
Yes. Yeah.
And
yeah.
then it just wouldn't be.
That's strange. Yeah.
You'd have it on like random week days.
Yeah. It's a big move to make. Yeah. Fine.
So I can wait. I'm gonna wait.
Okay. Fine. All right. So let's do that. All right. L'raya. Okay. Here's his raya. Ein hilchos mata zayin aleph. Let's read that. Who needs to like glue Isaac's Mishnah Torah?
I mean, I just had it open to the whole thing. It's like,
Yeah.
they're all right here.
Wait, what did we say? Zayin aleph?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mitzvos the same Mishnah Torah. L'saper b'nisim shnasu l'oseinu b'mitzrayim v'leil chamisha asar b'nisan. Okay. All right. So that's I think all we need to read. Go back to the Kuntress. So he says, "The Tala Haram es mitzvahs sipur yitzis mitzrayim b'tarech tes vav b'nisan. U'kamokim hilchos matzah vav aleph l'gavi mitzvahs matzah. U'v'hilchos korban pesach ches aleph l'gavi mitzvahs achilas korban pesach." Should we just rely on him for that?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So he says v'leil tes vav. Okay. Umash ein kein l'gavi shofar sukkah v'lulav. The lo tala mitzvahs ela b'tarech ela b'shem yom tov. Ki de'itza b'hilchos shofar aleph aleph. So let's look at that. Shofar aleph aleph. He says mitzvah shel Torah lishmor shofar b'rosh Hashanah, right? Not b'yom rishon shel Tishrei. And in where's the next one? Sukkah Vav Zion.
Forward.
Ooh.
They're all right here. If I was,
Oh, so when he does it, it's not a skill.
I was saying it's not for me.
Oh, okay. Vav Zion. Achila Pelele Yom Tov Harishon B'Sukkah Chova. Oh, so he says Yom Tov Rishon, right? Not the Vav the Tishrei, right? And then what's the last one? Is Lulav Zion Yud Gimel.
I'm gonna find that. Different.
No, because Tezvav comes from Pesach, and this is why I'm saying I think this is going to answer that question also. Right? That's the Tezvav to Tezvav. I mean, we're extrapolating from Pesach. Yeah, that's why I'm saying that this year was going to answer that. Yeah.
I also
Okay, we'll see. Yeah. All right. What did we just say? Zion Yud Gimel. Mitzvos lulav lihinat biyom harishon shel chag bilvad uv'chol makom uv'chol zman. Right? Yeah. Okay. So again, according to that, Ram, if he were consistent, would have said that matzah and korban pesach and sipor are on Yom Tov Rishon shel Pesach. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Right. Nice diak. Right. Crazy and nice.
Yeah.
I think it's nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, we came into mitzvah sipur yitzis mitzrayim novas davka min hatarif, and therefore, since mitzvah sipur yitzis mitzrayim flows specifically from the calendar date, from the date, v'ha'idna, and nowadays yada'inan b'kviya diyarcha, we know how the calendar is. Sakadaita amina delo yihu chayavim b'kriyas hagadah b'leil sheni. So there you have a amina that you wouldn't read on the second night. Why? Because it's not Tesvav B'Nisan anymore. It's Tesvav B'Nisan. Nothing happened then.
Right.
Shehare Tes Zayin B'Nisan Eno Hatarich Hanachim, because it's not the right date. One more sentence. L'kach Gutrach Aramim Litko L'gavi Pesach Shekmo B'Rishon Kach B'Sheni. Yes.
Okay, so now that one thing, instead of the amina has been that you don't do the mitzvos alone, but not before, and why is it before?
Yeah. We need to look at the halakha. Yeah, right. Yeah, so the Rambam puts the Havmina first that you would not do Kriyas hagadah, and then he says you do, and then the Havmina after that you would not do the mitzvos.
Right, I would have had it in the other one.
Yeah, right. So I don't know actually whether he's going to answer that or if that's the question that he addresses in that other shiur that he quoted, that the Kedusha Yom flows from the Sipor. Because obviously if you have that premise, then it would make sense that the mitzvahs come later because the mitzvahs are attached to the Kedusha Yom. Yeah, but we'd have to see that shiur. Maybe you can ask him for a copy of it. Maybe I should just do that. Yeah, okay. Ella, the im kol zeh yesh lahavin Sevaros hamaskana. Okay, so now you have to understand the maskana. So why do we read the hagadah on the second night? Okay, anyone want to stop and theorize?
Let's see.
Yeah, you could just say it's we do it like the other look end of shiur. Yeah.
But then you have a question about sukkah.
Then you have a question about sukkah, right? Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, good. All right, so let's see. I don't remember what he says, but I feel like that stirs something there. So there are two dinim, classic Brisker, in the kriyas hagadah of the first night. The first one is the mitzvah of telling your son, which is dependent on the date. Okay, so the second one is dependent on the Seder Avodas Hayom, which is a concept in the Rambam that is expressed mostly in Hilchos Tefillah, but also in Mikdash stuff. Okay, like the Avodas Hayom, Hatali B'Kedushas Hayom, which is dependent on the Kedushas Hayom. Ukama Arvis Shachris Musaf Mincha. Okay, let's hear him explain it. Okay, in Zem Mashma Meharan Al Gemara Pesachim Daf Vav on the days Daf Yerif. Divrei Mashma My Birkas Hashir B'Chulei B'Katlo Al Sidro Shel Yom. I don't want to look that up right now. If we have time afterwards, I do want to look it up, but that sounds like a raya. Im Ze Yesh Lamer Delolel Sheni Kavu Chazal Es Kriyas HaHagadah Mitzad Seder HaAvoda Sheba V'Haynu B'Katav HaRamam Keseder Shemavarchin V'Chulei. Okay, so what does he think? That when the Chazal established the Kriyas HaHagadah on the second night, by virtue of the Seder ha'avoda component of it, which is what the Rambam wrote when he says Kaseder shemavarachin v'chulei. So he's trying to be medayik on the fact that the Rambam says Kaseder shemavarachin v'korin hagadah b'leil yom tov rishon shel petach tach v'varachin v'korin b'leil sheni shel galiot. Not quite getting it yet. Let's just finish reading the paragraph, and then we'll have to think about it. L'gavi Seder ha'avoda zo zeh shel hayom haya efshar lomer distagile b'kriyas ha'hagadah l'chud. So in order, regarding the Seder avoda of the day, it's possible to say that it would be enough to do the kriyas ha'hagadah alone. Ukamo avodos hayom shel tefillah de'ino ela ba'amira, like the avodos hayom of tefillah, which is only verbal. L'kach pasuk Rambam dechein chayavim b'leil hasheni b'dalat kosos v'chulei la'ashmuinan degam mitzvos halayla nichlala b'seder avodos zeh shel hayom, to show you that the mitzvos of the night are also included in the Seder avodos hayom.
Is he using like avoda like for specific? Like is he saying like avoda like in the mikveh?
So yeah, that's what I'm saying is he talks about the Seder avodos hayom a lot. And I don't exactly know what we're supposed to get from this implication of it. That the Rambam has this idea that each day there's a concept of like a day of avoda.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like I said, it expresses itself in mikdash and in tefillah primarily. This is also why I think it's pashut that according to the Rambam, the Mea Brachos goes by the day, from morning to night, not from night to morning, because that's the avodas hayom. Avodas hayom starts in the morning and ends at night. That's how it goes in mikdash and everything. And that's what the Rambam says. But bein hayom v'halayla. But I don't know. I think he has a lot more that he's like. Sounds like there's a lot more going on when he says avodas hayom. You know.
Is he comparing it to avodas yom kippur? Like, 'cause that was also a Seder.
Yeah, I mean that would definitely be an expression of it, of avodas hayom. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean the impression I'm getting, and again this could be a misrepresentation, is that there's an avodas hayom every day, and for like the Yom Tovim, there's a special avodas hayom of that Yom Tov. You know, there's gonna be a certain sequence of things that you have to do. You know, like I'll give you an example of this that we can relate to. On Yom Tov, there's Chati Lashem and Chati Lachem. You know, on Shabbos, there's also a schedule that he does, like Kafki to Hadas. You know, that this is how you do it. And he's saying that like that Yom of Avoda, there's a hava amina that the reading of the hagadah would be sufficient for that avoda component. I don't know if I understand that. Yeah, I'm not following that either. That there's what?
I assume the other mitzvahs on the
Yeah. I'm not sure. Because trading in Bekius hagadah shalel rishon. Echad hu mitzvah v'gav v'beichad hafli b'pari. V'sheni hu chelek mi seder avodas hayom hatali b'kedusha hayom. Kumo arvis shachris musaf u'mincha. I don't know what he's getting at there.
He starts with arvis.
Yeah,
he does start with arvis here. Yeah.
Huh?
Maybe we should look at the Ran in the Gemara Pesachim. I'm based in Dafya Risk. There. Up above on the base. Is there a different Moscow? Oh, my because of Shiur. I'm not seeing that different Moscow. Up above on the base. Oh, mine's on top above on an Aleph. So maybe it's a typo. Oh, that's a long run. So it is on above on base, but it extends to the other side. Yeah, this might not be worth getting one. I what the line he says is V'katzvo al sidro shal yom. I'm just trying to skim it here.
It's in the top.
I mean, it sounds like he's saying it's on Pavavon days.
What's the one?
He doesn't quote it, right? He says V'katzvo al sidro shal yom. He writes about the Seder of the Yom.
I just want to point out that if it's viewing that in addition between
Oh, got it. Hold on.
I'm not wrong. Like the one I'm talking about. No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Different. But the Rambam
Yeah.
saying that often I bought the call and
Right, meaning matzah should also be.
when my son not
Being shtei brachos. Ikol mirsh in hafsek habal machmas mitzvah mevatan mitzvah avlo kava bir bracha shagunim zal an hafsek emsa mitzvah b'sach in okozer mevarach shari halel shmevarach kodem kriyaso af lichin being perik leperik kozer in okozer mevarach b'skios miyushav kiyot me'umid nami bracha achas l'kol v'achol hafsek b'nim af lichin homer tefila afre desidr shayom in hafsek af kan in hafsek shiken shkaf niskana l'mitzvah desidr shayom. Yeah, I mean, from what I can gather without doing the entire run, then it's dealing with hefsek. Okay, if I had to guess, and this is just a total guess, is the hefsek in the Hallel on the night of the Seder. We interrupt in the middle of Hallel.
Right.
And so he resolves it by saying that there are other cases where, since they were masaking something as part of the Seder Yom, then we don't treat things as hefseko. So, for example, he says with the shofar, then you have the all the kolos, but we do interrupt with ashrei and stuff. They say since it was the Seder Yom, he says, hold on, he says. So you make one bracha at the very beginning on all of them. And he says, hold on a second, and we do hold this usher to interrupt between them. But even so, we daven and we say ashrei.
Right.
Why? The Siddur Shel Yom ain't no hefsek. So the Seder Shel Yom is not a hefsek. And then here's what the Baal is saying. Afkan, so to here, eno hefsek. It's not a hefsek. Shekach niskana lemitzvah v'sidro shel yom, because here it was established as the mitzvah and as the Seder Shel Yom. So he's trying to say that the way that the mitzvos, and again, I don't know this whole context of this entire thing here, but it sounds like what the Baal Kuntress is trying to get from it is that the way the night was set up is it wasn't just set up as you do this mitzvah, you do that mitzvah, you do this mitzvah. It was incorporated into the Seder Yom, and there are halachic nafkaminas in that they're in that what's considered hefsek and what's not. So he's just using that as a support for his idea that they were kovea as Seder Hayom, but I still don't have a clear understanding of what Seder Hayom means. Yeah. Yeah.
The thing that happened, is that since one is on the Torah and not in and
Yeah.
And we're making that big in the Rambam stands more we also said that about
He also did it by matzah.
that it will come
That's what?
it will come and that so it can only be one amina. And from making it also
That's interesting. And he did it by Korban Pesach also, right? That's what he said. Yeah.
Yeah, he's saying that
Yeah.
not like that. And that's not.
Good question. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's do this. Let's finish the shiur, and then we'll go back and try to identify what we have clear and what we have not, because it's 2 more paragraphs here. So what's its essential answer, even though we don't understand it, is that they were masaking the second night's the mitzvos of the second night? Is all the mitzvos of the second night, or just the kriyas hagadah? Oh, the kriyas hagadah, by virtue of the avodas hayom, and you would think that that's enough just with the kriyas hagadah, and therefore he has to say that you have to do all the other mitzvos. Okay, fine. V'im ze ayin b'shivlei haleket, sof siman ratio ches. Okay, I don't even know where the safer shivlei haleket is in the basement, so I'm not going to find that. B'diun I amrian ein machtirin achar hamatza afikomen b'leil rishon bilvad o gamkein b'leil sheni. That's interesting. So he deals with the question of whether we say that you're not allowed to eat anything after the afikomen, whether that only applies on leil rishon or on the second night also. Upirsha inyan, and the explanation is the hava ha'isr the ein maftirin v'hulei din v'matzah mitzad mitzvot halayla shaba. If the isr of ein maftirin is by virtue of in matzah is by virtue of the mitzvahs halayla component, hari lo yachol ela b'leil harishon, then it would only apply to the first night. It sounds like he's addressing the thing that you're bothered by also, because he is saying that matzah, sounds like he's saying that the chiyuv of achilas matzah on the second night is stemming from the avodas hayom thing, not from mitzvos matzah. And mitzvos matzah is only below tesvav. Yeah, it's a finish. I mean, that's the name of the game, you know. But yeah, that doesn't make it right. But I'm saying like, but that is what he's saying, and that's what he's explaining now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. About hava ha'isr din b'matzav mitzvah seder avodas hayom shaba. Shapri Yachul Gamba Leil Sheni. So then it would also apply to Leil Sheni. Okay. Yeah. We're Alpi? Yeah, Sheni, yeah, it's just one word there. Valpi calls for a movement here, Nahagu Lomar Halal, the base Knesses, Belil Pesach. What? Okay. So based on the Torah, we can say why there's a minhag to say halal in shul on the night of Pesach. I never understood that.
Yeah.
Right? The minhag say halal in shul on the night of Pesach, especially because we're saying halal at night at the Seder, you know? And that was a machlokus in two of the Soloveitchiks, right? That one of them would exit the Shiur, exit the shul, because he held that you shouldn't say it. Yeah, but usually not within, I don't know, like, no, with the Soloveitchiks themselves.
Oh, I don't know.
Like, I'm saying, like
that's not even-
another thing, like Rav Moshe, I don't know if it was Rav Moshe would like leave the shul because he held you shouldn't say halal in shul on the night, but like, you know, he's not going to be, you know, making machlokas or whatever, you know.
Make more of a stuff leaving the show would do.
Yeah, exactly right. In fact, we're talking about it now. Yeah, I gotta find out who did it. Yeah. Iyun the Mishnah b'Masechus Pesachim daf Kuf Yud Zayin Amud Beis D'mashma shekris halal havia chelik mitzibur yisbis mitzrayim. That's interesting. That seems to be worth to look into on its own.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that from the Rambam that his mitzvah yisbis mitzrayim include hoda'ah on what God did for us, but it's I don't know what Gemara is referring to. Mihu Iyun Tur Orachaim Siman Taf Ayin Gimel the Seifa Diyish Makomot Shenohagin Likros Hahalal Beves HaKnesses B'Tzibur Kadei Shelo Yitztarfu Levarech Alav B'Shas HaGadah. That's interesting. Because that's another question they take about. Why don't we make a birkas mitzvah on the halal in the hagadah?
Why don't we just make it bracha?
Yeah,
Why don't we just add in a bracha?
right,
Yeah, we're not like trying to avoid saying brachos.
right, yeah, and we are saying halal. I mean,
Wait, say
it's,
the bracha in shul?
we say the bracha and shul, yeah. And again, this might be what the what was I saying? Oh, what the Ron was talking about the hefsek.
Ah,
It's possible that. Okay, fine. And then he says, okay, wait, I just lost my place. Yeah, u'kmofein machmim v'sefer shel hatosvos al gemar brachos daf yud daled amud aleph b'divrei malchut yomim shehayachid gomer v'chulei. Okay, fine. All right. V'haya lanu l'hachshos ma mo'ila bracha b'beis haknesses d'lechora kriyat halal shama ina chelik min hasipor. So he says you can ask, what benefit would the bracha in the Beis Knesses have? Because seemingly that kriyas halal has nothing to do with sipor, right? Yeah. Ella yiflam or the full Torah habracha lahalo shel hasipor havi davka mitzad seder avodas hayom shabo. He's really taking this thing as far as it can go. The entire need for the bracha for halal of sipor is specifically by virtue of the seder avodas hayom in it. Ukidanafik mehad de pirashim in halal b'chanukah b'yom tov. We also don't have that here. like we explained in Halo and Hanukkah and Yom Tov. We came into Kriyas Halo Sheba Arvis Havya Chelik Miseder Avodas Hayom Shel Tefillah, and since the Kriyas Halo in Arvis is a component of the Seder Avodas Hayom of Tefillah, Shapir Mo'ila Habracha She'aleha Latzeis Yidei Tzorach Habracha Lahalo Shel Sipor. Wow, that's a big chiddush, right? So in other words, he's saying if Halo is just a component of Sipor, so then how's the bracha? Sorry, if Halo at the Seder is just a component of Sipor, then how's the bracha on the Halal and Shul going to help you with that? They're completely different things. But since we see that the Halal of the Seder is because of the Avodas Hayom component, then it really would be no different than making the brachos on the Tekios de Miyushav and having that count for the brachos after.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's an interesting raya. When we came into, I just read that. Yeah, the al kol inyan halal ze ayin od mash birachim inyan halal but lil tesvav v'nisan. He has another share on halal lil tesvav v'nisan. Okay, fine, we don't have that share either. Yeah. No, he's saying it just for the matzah, sipur, and korban pesach. Yeah, because of the tarikh thing, because of the date thing. Yeah, it's a chiddush. But I think you can also say that, I guess he didn't address the tesvav thing, but that I think is a raya for what he's saying though, because the only chiyuv of matzah from the date is on the 15th.
Yeah.
And so that the tesvav is not taking the chiyuv of achilas pas from the kedusha of Hayom of Pesach. It's taking it from tesvav to tesvav.
So therefore
on tes zayin in Golus, even though it has the same kedusha, there's no chiyuv to eat bread.
Right. Or
Yeah.
eating soda.
That's what I mean by eating.
Bread.
Yeah.
You said bread, not
Yeah.
Aha. And what about Simon's question that why is it not the exact same amina for matzah and seafood?
Why is it not the same exact same hava from matzah sipur? Since both of them
Or calorie and tesvav.
on tesvav, yeah.
In the Rambam.
Right. You're saying the Rambam says it in Hilchos Matzah, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We would have to look at that other share maybe about the
Maybe, yeah.
the,
And maybe I'll ask him for that.
Can we just which shirim are we doing?
So I would like to do Birkas Alfilas Mata next,
Okay.
because I think yeah, if we find stuff for this, and I would like to do that also.
Okay.
But I definitely want to do Alfilas Mata, and then Gula Land of Lavasane was a really good one.
Okay, 'cause that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. And if I get an updated version, I'll send that to you.
I have a different vote,
Yeah.
if I can.
Yeah.
Which is doing the Rambam's hagadah from Arami over Avi. Because I feel like that area is like under the.
Yeah, there aren't that many differences
Okay.
there. I mean, yeah,
Well then.
yeah, overruled.
Alright,
I have a.
I'm sure there are the-
I brought a treat. Okay. Anyone want to guess what it is? Endives.
Whoa!
I was at Trader Joe's this morning, and I was like, I should just buy endives. So these are Belgian endives, which I guess is the normal species. But there's two types. There is the purple ones, which you're a texture guy, slightly fuzzy. They've got fur. Okay. And then there's the white kind. They're both sold in the same package, and I watched them, but just checking for bugs.
I'll take that one, yeah.
You want one of each?
Oh yeah.
Here you go. I'm checking for bugs, and then you want the other one?
No, he prefers texture over.
Anyone else want to try?
I don't know,
Yeah.
just more important.
You want the other one also?
Yeah. Gotta compare the two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they
It's like
taste-
a light thing.
I don't know if they taste different or just feel different.
Did you taste them before now? or-
No, I did not. I mean, I've tasted them in the past, just not recently.
Do we lean?
Even on tasting, it wouldn't be. Oh, we had to differentiate.
Ooh.
Yeah. Hmm. Actually, the purple one's a little sweet.
I don't taste it.
Mm.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's better. What do you
The
mean?
purple one,
It's got some bitter, but it's got a sweet aftertaste.
and this is more the opposite.
Yeah, this one is
It's like bitter.
more
Has
bitter.
a
Yeah.
weird taste.
Yeah,
Well, I think better than romaine.
Yeah, me too.
yeah, for sure.
I saw someone. I was looking online, and someone said
It's
that
delicious.
that romaine is preferable to these. But I think you're definitely Yotze with this. But I gotta see if it's actually preferable or not.
This is great.
Yeah,
Try
good.
buying this as a snack.
You can eat it year round. Yeah.
Yeah. I would get this, the
Oh,
I don't know, it's like pale green.
Yeah, I like.
Mhm.
This one's
I would get
better.
those as yeah.
It's good.
But they feel yeah, they're not bad, but like they're more bitter.
Yeah.
You know? Romaine less is
Smells better
bitter.
now.
It's also a good food, like for
Mhm.
like it's a natural spoon. You know, you like
maybe
fill
I
with stuff.
taste, but to me, this is like drastically more bitter than this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I still think these are
They're all
sweet.
getting
These,
bad.
these are sweet. Yeah.
That doesn't count. That doesn't taste like.
Yeah.
Doesn't count. They're literally out of your mind.
I would not.
It could be got a bitter piece.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Those enzymes.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was recording.